welcome to Supreme Commander Forged Alliance. We have another double cast here. I'm with TA4Life, and
That's
he's actually in this game, so it should be interesting to hear
yeah,
his perspective. He's on Cobalt Valley against I'm a Noob, who is Yudi.
yep, the best Japanese player currently on FAF.
I
So
don't even, I
not
don't
many
know
of
if he's the
those.
only one or what, but he is pretty good.
It's a possibility. Yeah, he's actually got a lot better. And I guess his story is his dad used to play FA, but he switched to Supreme Commander too. But he taught him FA. But I think it's quite tragic if your dad plays Supreme Commander but plays their own version. But that's what he's got to
Yeah,
face.
that must suck. In family
It's
fighting, I guess. Anyway, we have TA4Life here, going first land and rushing the Hydro, and it looks like both of them have exactly the same build, so it's going to be pretty similar in the early game. The only difference so far is
yeah, it's
slight aggression from Yudi. He's got a Mech Marine and a Scout coming out. Still,
This is where I think it's really nice if you're going to go very aggressive scout and McMarine, is to send him in different directions because the scout's faster, so you can cover different parts of the map, and then have him rendezvous somewhere where you're going to expect to fight.
yeah, absolutely. That is a good way to get intel. It looks like all-out land from both players. Neither one wants to go for air. So it is going to be completely land.
Yeah, looks like it's going to be a question of who can get more of the mask extractors. Very spread out mask extractors on this map. You don't want to neglect some of the reclaim. There are a couple of rocks scattered all over the place, but it's also a map where it's very difficult to hold on to map control because there's so many points of attack.
Yeah, it's similar to how Theta would be if it had multiple levels like this. There's just so much spread out mass that you have to spread your units out, and then you're at risk of losing to a compact army. It really does happen like that sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think this is one of the better maps actually. It's a recently added map to the pool. And yeah, I think more people need to enjoy this one. I don't know. I don't really know what people's opinions are. But once you get kind of used to it, it's excellent. Second air is nice with something that's not UEF or even third air. But I think for UEF on UEF, you want to get as many strikers
Here
out there
comes
as
the
possible.
first battle of the game. The Mech Marine from TA takes out the Scout from Yudi, so Yudi is currently playing blind. So he's making the right move
Yeah,
and retreating. He doesn't know what's up there. He's got a
yeah. This is where having that Snoop, the scout for UEF has 2 damage per shot and has the range advantage on the Mech Marine, so it can actually make a
yeah,
fairly
it
big
really
difference.
does. And if it survives for long enough, it can deal out enough damage to turn the battle. And looks like this is going to be very close. Here's where the Snoop can finish it off. 1 health for the Mech Marine from Yudi. And the Scout does get it. So that's exactly
Yep.
what we were talking about.
How did I know that was gonna happen? But
Yeah,
it
I
did.
don't know. It must be
Yeah, I really.
my future prediction.
I guess my replay is a little ahead. Yeah, but on the other side, we also got a striker and a Snoop combo. And the striker, and I don't play UEF very often anymore, but I really kind of miss the striker, especially when you face other UEF or Cybern. This is a very strong tank. So 300 health
Yeah,
really
for
counts.
sure. Health makes a huge difference in these early fights because everybody can screw up in micro, so it really is a lot about who can just survive the longest.
You can see both players. You can see the tracks on the tanks on the right side. You see both players trying to weave
And
their
it
way.
looks like TA with far superior numbers on that side, so Yudi will once again have to retreat. But Yudi could make a push here on the left-hand side with these tanks, but he's pulling them in the wrong direction.
Yeah, I think he's trying to get all his tanks together. Rendezvous with the Snoop, and then maybe
AC2 is
push.
about to meet in the middle,
And
and if Yudi's
yeah, this is going to be
not
important.
a little bit careful, he could get in trouble, but he has tanks close by.
Yeah, and with you have the 12k health on the ACU. It takes a long time to get that to go low.
Yeah, so it looks like Yudi, both players just kind of walking around seeing what's going on. And Yudi pushing up where there's a small band of tanks for TA. And looks like the battle has really become very centralized, neither player using the flanks. It's really about who can control the middle at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is where a Raider in a good position will be very nice. I don't think either player
You see
really
Yudi
has
trying
that.
to go for a very ambitious radar in the middle. If he could get that and hold it, would be very good, but it's questionable if that's going to live too long.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
There's also a little bit of already mixed in for both players, but the ratio is pretty high for tanks. And here, this is where Yudi might get himself in trouble.
TA kind of pulling away with his ACU. It might be better to push in and use the tanks as well. But I think right now Yudi is going to escape.
Yeah, so Yudi here running into a mountain. TA here needs to block properly. And this is not proper blockage. He's actually going to allow Yudi to escape here a little bit.
It's still going to be very close here. Yudi bringing his units in support, but he's going low on health here. He's still 9 kills from the next veterancy level. And he's really all alone here.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to go under 2k health here pretty soon. And you can see on the sides here, this is a perfect time when you have crazy battles like this. Both players are really focused on what's happening. It's a perfect time to send a tank somewhere on the side and sneak things in. But Yudi here, 500 health.
From TA.
This is extremely close.
This is exactly what happened to me in one Canis game.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. Yeah, that was an excellent. Oh man, that was in one of the craziness videos from Colonel. If people haven't seen what happened to Napalm, they should definitely check out one of those. It's so tragic.
Yeah, Butel was on what 40 health, and my
he had no health.
Yeah,
he would have been one shot.
Decided to shoot something random, and by the time I turned around, he was on the other side of the mountain.
Yeah. And this is that game and this game together. You can see how important these types of terrain units are.
Yudi's not content to have survived on 200 HP. He just wants to come back for more.
Yeah, you can see that both ACUs here at their own 1k health are going to continue to battle.
If either player pulls a control K here, it would be a draw, but neither player is going to do that because, of course, they're more honorable than that, of course.
I don't know about honor, but we're both dreaming about winning.
I have never seen such a luck moment. Well, I have, and it feels horrible if you are if you're on the wrong end of it. Yeah. So once again, everything being funneled towards the middle, but TA is going to be a little adventurous and send some units to the right-hand side. Really not too much to kill there, though. Yudi hasn't really taken that side.
And by far the most valuable place on the map is where that battle just happened, but everybody just ran. Like, we want no more of that. But there's a lot of mass
there, but I don't think anyone even wants to get close.
Yeah, I think we both thought that the other players has secured it, but now TA is going to push a little forward. Yeah.
Still zero air in any way, shape, or form whatsoever. Not even.
Yeah, this is where I was thinking about getting a couple of tech-to-mass ejectors, maybe a little power.
I think even on these very small maps, and actually this is a relatively large map, even on tiny maps, just getting an air factory for cheap scouts is a good idea, even if you're not going to make units.
Yeah, I think it's... Yeah, I mean, you usually always make engineers, and there's no reason to waste time on a land factory, make engineers. Have your air factory make those engies. It's very straightforward. And now it looks like
some units from TA on a run by, Yudi pulling back. I think his ACU has enough health to deal with this force, if it were to go at his ACU.
Yeah, but Yudi has given up the middle, which I think is one of the biggest points in this game where Yudi just gave up the mid. He has big forces. You can't say that he has less tanks. He might even have more, but he's going to push on the sides instead. This is where a priority of what your targets are it becomes critical.
Yeah, he's kind of letting TA go very deep here, and even though he's pushing on the side, it's very easy to redirect your rally points so you can deal with attacks like that. And here on the right-hand side, it's just sloppy. He's running into a point defense.
Yeah, it's very lucky point defense there. This couple arties would take care of it. But on the left side, UD is making a fairly big push.
Yeah, that has potential. TA moving his units to try and block that off. But I think UD still has numbers on the left-hand side. And on the right, it's very even in terms of numbers. But actually, the point defense has been taken out. So there is an opportunity to push here for UD.
Yeah, UD is going to take both.
And he is defending well against this deep push from TA. So a bit of reclaim secured for him.
Yeah, he's going to hide a couple tanks here in the back. I really like this place, this little road or whatever it is, where you can put a couple units for later, attack with the rest. But still in the middle here, you can see the reclaim numbers is 1100 for TA. I'm a noob, but only 500.
Yeah, a very big reclaim advantage, but that should be solved pretty soon for UD if he were to take this mass that has been given to him. It looks like he is pushing successfully on the right-hand side. The middle is even. The left looks like it's going to be better unit positioning from UD. Although that is changing now.
Yeah, but it's numbers. Positioning gives you something, but it's not perfect. And this is something where I'm pretty bad with UEF. I think with Aeon I can position my units, but with all the other, and amazingly UD
Yeah,
retreats.
you just should be boxing everything and running at TA's base. There's really no reason to stop here. There's nothing to block his units' advance, but he is moving in the wrong direction.
Actually, both players decided to retreat after that one. And you can see that they're run by on the right side.
Yeah, it's good work from him. He should just keep running these as far as he can, cause as much damage as possible.
Yeah, because one of the things is not killing a unit, but changing the position of the enemy unit. If the enemy unit chases you way the heck in the corner of the map, it's as good as killing.
It really is. If you can take them away from where they should be, and then you can attack somewhere else with superior numbers, it's always good. Teching for TA, and T2 land coming up as well. And here's the first air factory of the game. I was praying for some air.
Some bombers. Yeah, air. I mean, one of the ways to play this game is the early air. If you have your air units just patrolling different places, you have total visual. It's much better than radar sometimes, because radar is very vulnerable and you have power, things like that. But when you have direct visual with air, you can really make the right decisions.
Here, Yudi has completely thrown away his advantage on the left. He's forcing himself against the wall.
Yeah.
There's really no hope for him here.
Yeah. There's no reason for him to do what he just did. But it's going to be a nice reclamation.
He's going to shove TA off the middle reclaim. Now that there's too much of that left.
Yeah, patrolling was a bad idea. The trees took up all the time.
That is an irritating thing in this game, where you tell something to patrol in the hopes that it's going to reclaim what you want, and it reclaims something random 10 feet away. It really does make it important to manually reclaim, but that can take up a lot of valuable concentration. Here are the units from TA coming back into UD's base. They have the potential to take out a mass extractor, but really not much else.
Yeah, it's just an annoyance to take a little concentration. Point defense for TA here, it's very important not to lose that. It covers a lot of different directions. Actually, a lot of point defenses on the right side.
Yeah, he's definitely worried about the numbers from UD, because actually all of TA's units are...
And the bomber for UEF.
The bomber for UEF actually getting 2 kills. Yo, seriously, every kill with the UEF bomber is an achievement.
Absolutely, it should change its veterancy where it's you get an extra vet for 1 kill. Maybe even things out. But Tech to land here, some Team D, maybe Tech to power.
Yeah, this bomber going on a bit of a rampage. It's up to 5 kills. I don't think I've ever seen that before, and I'm being dead serious.
Oh no, there's. Swackle did something to me which was kind of mean. I don't know if you saw that on Whitefire. He got like 10 kills with the UEF bomber, and it basically won the game for him. It was a long game, but that really changed.
Here UD gets himself in trouble. His units are somehow stuck in his base. He's trying to get them out, but he's gonna have to retreat for now. Actually, in the middle of an upgrade, and not such a great place.
He's getting an upgrade. Yeah. 37 kills, 3 more, you get a nice vet, but looks like TA will retreat.
And UD's units lining up in a nice line here for the UEF bomber to come in. I really want to see how many kills this thing can get. Yeah, it's not gonna drop though.
Oh, it will. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And
really, I think for you,
here's one of UD's problems this entire game. He's going through the left, but he forces himself against the wall, and then he just gets demolished. Because that's one of the worst ways you can position your units.
Yeah, this is just mass delivery all game. Yeah, I mean, if you would just stay there to protect that left side, that's as good as you can do in that situation.
Really
and wait for me to move my unit somewhere else, and that's when you move
it's also those 3 mass extractors. You don't even have to attack. Just keep those mass extractors and use the extra eco to outspam your opponent somewhere else. There's really no reason to go crazy and try to kill everything. Which is what I do, but it's not like there's a reason for it.
No, there's some things you do for fun, some things you do to win, and they're not always the same. And you'd actually getting a couple tanks in the back here, very annoying. This guy kill off a Tech 1 mask extractor, maybe some power.
Actually, one of the worst things is when a few units get in the back and end up being able to kill something like a T2 mech because you don't pay attention.
Yep. And actually, those two tanks that I had most of the game are now killing some engineers. Yudi will finally respawn, and it looks like Yudi did get the gun, so that should make these battles a little
I
more
think
interesting.
Yudi will be able to dominate the center of the map now with his gun upgrade, but these two tanks in the back of TA's base actually doing quite well. Finally, there's going to be killed.
Yeah.
And here's exactly what we're talking about. TA had that great positioning advantage on the cliff, and now he's able to just push through on the left-hand side.
Yeah, this is where there's no reason to attack. And now in terms of reclamation, TA at 5,700, Noob only at 2,000, and it's all been just defeating.
And but you can see Yudi, he doesn't even have to use his units. He can just kite the force in the middle all day long, and he really has nothing to stop him.
Amazingly, the EF bombers, I think they managed to miss when they were hitting that big group. I think they both hit the empty
those are really
space.
something else.
And now we got the pillars on the field on the left side. I expect the pillars to get quite a few kills.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Hello.
Swackle.
I think we got Swackle in here.
Nice. Swackle, we are double casting. And
We're double casting. If you.
Oh, sorry. I saw you were in a lobby, so.
Yeah.
Hi.
So here, Noob is gonna use his gun to overcharge a couple pillars.
yes, he is. Still nothing to challenge him in the middle, and he's making a gigantic push on the right-hand side, which really, if he just moves in, it should be unopposed. There's no point defense left. At least in the mech's position, there are some in the back, but those can be taken out with artillery. And actually, Yudi just out-spamming TA on both flanks. The only problem might be the middle. His ACU can get a bit vulnerable if he lets too much T2 build up.
Yeah, and T2 versus ACU is always a very difficult question. I mean, you feel like you can kill the ACU, but you'd get so much vet that it's not always worth it. And it's those very expensive units that you're throwing away.
What is this? Is this T2 for TA? Yeah, the T2 upgrade. So some.
Yeah, T2, couple Tech 2 point defense in the right place could be pretty
especially
good.
here on the ramp. Just put a few T2PDs there and kill the units as they come down. It would be very effective.
Yeah, they tend to really bunch up and slow down at those
Here
curves.
comes the T1. It's coming in single file, so it's not too effective against PDs. One PD building up 7 kills. It's going to get more. Just again...
Yeah, those PDs are, I think, saving because there was big numbers for a while for Yudi, but I think he's lost them.
And a single pillar here getting dominated, but Yudi pulling away for some reason. He still controls the left-hand side, so that's still extra mask trackers for Yudi. Still an advantage for him. Actually, Yudi can now control both of the flanks, and that would be a huge map control and mass advantage for him.
And the middle as well with AC. So TA really pushed back. TA's been upgrading most of this game. A couple Tech 2 mask extractors now almost at second Tech 2 power. And one thing that TA
somehow keep ahead in mass, but that shouldn't last too long given the extra map control for Yudi. I mean, just one mask extractor. Yeah,
one thing that TA invested in was 3 power storages to make any kind of upgrades easy and really for safety.
Yeah, and he is coming through the middle. So some T2 PDs here. As long as he doesn't place them in bad positions where they would hit the terrain, this would be a very nice place for some T2 PDs.
Mm-hmm. Actually, a Tech 2 point defense on this middle mountain is possible, and it's very good. Actually, also a drop in Tech 3 artillery onto these ledges has been very effective in the past.
Yeah, I can imagine. So TA just leaving 2 T1 engineers behind to finish the point defense while he goes to the right-hand side. So he's got on a bit of a curve here, just taking a tour of the whole country. Yeah, you gotta make sure the morales of the troops and all the different places is high. So, and I'm a noob, almost done with the Tech 2 grade. So he's gonna Tech 2 and gun. It's almost 20,000. Very powerful ACU, and not too many kills away from another veterancy level. So now he's in
Yep.
position to make a huge push. He just needs to actually do it. He needs to have his ACU lead and just push through. There's really nothing to stop him at all.
Yeah. It will take many tech-to-point defenses, probably shielded tech-to-point defenses, to stop this kind of push. And in terms of numbers, big numbers now for Noob. He just needs to use them as simultaneously attack everywhere. There is some pillars attacking on the left side, but those shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, the pillars spread out all over the map for TA, and Yudi once again pulls back. Even if he can't get all the way to TA's base, just making a push would be good to gain map control, gain space. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. Exactly. Sometimes space is also, even with nothing in it, it's something that your enemy will have to go through. I mean, you don't want to push into a tech-to-point defenses unless you're going to kill it, but here I think he's actually in position to kill it.
Well, just grabbing more map control, having more freedom to move your units around, having space to retreat into if you need to.
Yeah, it's also intel.
Yeah, it's much easier to keep track of what your opponent is doing if you restrict them. Here's some tanks for TA on the right. Really, they can't do much versus such superior numbers, and Riptides as well for Yudi. So he's also gotten T2 land.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I agree with that choice. I mean, Riptides are nice, but I think Pillars are much better mass-wise. I think it's 360 health for a Riptide versus only 200.
Yeah, and considering that
Pillar.
TA has been going for individual T2 units, the Riptides are good against T1, but not really against T2. They don't have the DPS.
Yeah, it looks like Noob taking out a point defense and is going to get a tech-to-point defense that he could retreat to, and it's really very close to
Well, actually,
TA's
now without
base.
his supporting army, he probably should leave. Too much Tech 2 in the area.
Yeah, so now TA is going to see that. You see the interceptors. That looks like a very good target. 76 kills, nearly full health. Noob will complete
But
the
now he's in
tech-to-point
trouble.
defense
He's going to have to
before
start
we begin.
overcharging, and he's just spinning in circles here. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, this is where you got to overcharge in the direction your gun is pointing. If you overcharge in the wrong direction, and you can see how quickly he was losing
and there
health
goes
until
a
that
veteran C. I
vet.
was about to say, I thought he was going to die there. He's still in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, but this is where overcharges on pillars, I believe they're worth twice as much as the regular unit. So killing 10 pillars will get you
Now
another.
we see Yudi
vet
pushing
level.
on the left, runs into a T2 PD, and he's going to try to save his ACU now. Really, all the
Yeah, I
Tech 2
think
for
this
TA,
is a
it's
bit
all
of a
been going
mistake.
at the ACU. So if TA loses this force, it might be game over. And
Yeah, the micro mistake, I think, from TA. If he would have pushed after the ACU, it would
it's
have been
getting
much
very
more
close
effective.
here. A few more shots. He's on 1900 health, and overcharge goes down.
Yeah, but so many kills. That was a big Tech 2 force that was pretty much annihilated. At the same time, a big push now on the right side from Yudi. So overall, this was a big success for
Yeah,
Yudi.
Yudi pulls back. He's got a huge reclamation field. He can't really secure it with his ACU given how little health he has, but he's regenerating it quickly. He'll be able to move back into the area soon and capture all the reclaim.
Yeah, 52 health per second.
And now all
on that
this
ACU.
power in the back for TA is very vulnerable to the T1 force coming in.
Yeah, and this is a bit of Tech 2, and these are pillars. This is not these two pillars. Not pillars. They're Riptides. I've seen these tanks get many kills, like 50 kills each. They're extremely powerful. They might not look like it, but they definitely are, and it's very annoying to
And
have
so
those in the back of
emergency
your base.
PDs being thrown together, they won't be completed, or will they? Yudi not targeting the right units.
Yeah, he wanted to kill the shield first. So he should target the engineers. Yeah, there's really no reason to allow that point defense
It's
to be
pretty
built.
irrelevant at this point in this particular attack. The T2
And there
power
goes the
zone.
power. Oh, and actually, if you think about it, it's perfect to let somebody build all the way to like 99% completion and then kill the engineers. That's wasted mass, but I'm not sure if that's what Yudi was thinking. But you can see this is a very
And if he finishes
devastating
off
attack.
the other
in
T2
terms
power,
of,
this is just going to be absolutely brutal, and it looks like he will get it down. And there
It
it
should be.
goes.
if you look at TA4Life's power production after this, it's very
It
bad.
looks like not.
It's only 100 and
And
160.
here, it would be really good if Uni just targeted down all the power, which he's doing, and just
yeah,
and
140,
eliminate
120.
every possibility of making more power. Because once you lose all your power, you can't really make any more at any significant rate. If you do, you have to pause everything else. And then
And I don't even know where where the other PGens are that are producing. Oh, the Hydra. So it's the Hydra plus the ACU, nothing else. But the thing that's saving, I think Yuri could have made this much worse if he would have targeted the power storage, because there's still a whole bunch of power in the power storage, and it's going to be put into this Tech 2 power generator. He's going to rebuild once he gets a couple
That is
engineers
true.
as well.
Actually, TA has enough power and storage to just make the T2 power straight off of his stored energy.
Yep. It takes only 1,200 power to make.
I think a
Tech 2
nice
power
addition to this attack would have been to have some bombers and hit the Hydro.
Absolutely.
Even UEF bombers can hit a Hydro.
Hydro.
I'm pretty sure they can.
For sure, yeah. And it would take 8 bombs, 8 passes, so 6 bombs or so would have, 6 bombers would have
And
definitely
then
done it.
we would seriously be looking at game over then. It's already difficult enough.
Yeah, there's really no way to come back. But I think as soon as TA gets this Tech 2 power back, there is quite a bit of reclaim in the base. In terms of map control, it's completely lost, but there is Tech 2, there is the ACU with Tech 2, some Tech 2 point defenses. It should be
Yudi
possible
now
to rebuild.
constructing a TML in the middle. Should be able to kill everything. There is a TMD up though. So, yeah.
Yeah, that should also been a good target.
34 kills.
And yeah, the power is
34
nearly
kills,
gone.
36 kills now for this point defense on the left-hand side. Yudi has been running into that the whole game.
Yep.
That's exactly what I was talking about. As soon as
it's
the
a good
units
one.
go down a ramp, they get confused and then they become easy targets.
Yep. Yeah, those Riptides. I think if Yudi would have made pillars instead of Riptides, this would have been a lot worse. He would have had much bigger numbers.
But now TA basically catching up in power again because of the T2 power. And with the reclaim, he's not completely out of it.
Yeah, there's a couple really big chunks of mass with the Tech 2.
The missiles come in, UEF TMD actually shoots it down.
Yep. The FTMD is actually pretty good against things that are well, it can shoot down one missile unless it's an ACU missile, but against things that have rapid fire rate for mobile missile launchers, FTMD is
And
quite
here comes
good.
TA's ACU. There's really no hope of getting a draw in that situation because of the units coming in from UD.
Yeah, it would not be not against this ACU, and you can see how quickly this ACU is back to almost full health for UD. And UD once again on that right side is going to look for more point defenses going up.
And
So it's
now he's
one
just
big
hitting
emergency.
T1 mexes with his missile launcher is a pretty big waste. Actually, a decent target would be that
Yeah.
51 kill point defense. Just take that out and then you can push.
Oh yeah, Tech to point defenses are always critical right before an attack because people think it's safe and then suddenly they
And
realize
once
they have no
again, T2
defense.
power will go down here for TA, the freshly rebuilt one. Still has the spare one though.
Yep. Yeah, and this is where the shield is going to be critical. Protect that plus Tech 1, Tech 2 point defenses. And this is where Yudi, I think, with a little more micro, if you would have just go outside, out of the range of the Tech 1 point defense, kill those power storage. And one thing Yudi, you can see he's thinking about the targets, but he hasn't yet realized that power storage is an excellent target. It's very low health, and I think it would have won the game for
It's
him already.
explosive and can cause pretty chain reactions.
Exactly. Oh yeah, and now TA4Life could be in trouble in the
Actually,
middle.
could be in huge trouble. Point defense is getting a few kills here. But once he brings his force in, if Yudi were to overcharge everything, it would most likely be over at this point. Though we've been saying that for the past 10 minutes. Yudi hasn't been able to capitalize on his advantages. Actually, Yudi running himself into trouble here. And
Yeah, I think his forces died faster than he expected.
so he's going to have to retreat at the very least.
Yeah. He's got 98 health. Not sure what his vet is. He's full vet, so no more vet. And it's actually bad when you're at full vet. You don't get those boosts anymore. It's something that you can't count on.
Yeah, that's very true. Although it is good that there is a cap to veterancy. It would be awful if you could just keep expanding till the end of time.
And you can see that Tech to point defense that was never killed. It was targeting the ACU the entire time. That's
falling
the main
very
reason
low enough.
why.
Yeah, actually, when people attack me and I have point defenses, I just instantly target their ACUs, and it's quite effective. And here, Yudi
Yep.
is. Oh, and there he goes.
Yeah. So Yudi, I think, overextended. I think he was still in
I
a very
think he
good
just
position.
had that moment
But,
that you have when you think, oh, this is one, I can do whatever I want, and he just boxes everything and goes. And then he realizes
And then suddenly, and that's the power of the victory point
he's run
defenses
out of
once again.
units, and TA wins.
Yep. So hopefully people
Yeah.
enjoyed this one.
Alright, I'm done recording that one.